What's up, everybody, and welcome to the first official episode of the Dead Funny Review Show. I'm your host, Chris. Join with me today, I've got the experts in the fields of movies, comics, and any kind of web postings that we could possibly find to talk about, is the DCEU in trouble? Well, we're going to find out today. But let me go ahead and introduce my guest. We have Dylan, the only person in the world that I'm not sure whether or not he knows that the sidekick is not the actual hero of the story, for some reason, like Robin. We have Joey, the only man in the whole universe, to own more suits than Batman. And they're all bat suits, except their pajamas, footy pajamas. And Tony, the only guy to ever find the actual Green Lantern ring and found out that not only does it not operate on fear, and not only does it not operate on courage, but Duracell batteries. We are here to talk about DCEU, guys.
And they're expensive.
They are.
So I was
It's
like,
going up and up in price.
there's a lot of power, but I don't know if I'm fucking willing to spend that much. I went to Walmart and I was like, no thanks, sir.
All right. So, DCEU. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about the current state of the Detective Comics Extended Universe?
It's popping, dude. Have you not
It's
seen their
popping.
movies?
Well,
They're
Oh,
so
God.
good. They're
now,
all.
I don't want to shit on Marvel too much because everybody like in the community knows that DC's been just fucking dominating the movie scene for the past like 5 or 6 years. So it's been a rough couple of years for Marvel, but hopefully they'll be able to catch up soon with
One of
all of
these days,
DC's
dude.
ridiculously amazing hits like Batman: Dawn of Justice, which was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which was
I was like, he just left Superman completely out.
Where's the
unbelievably good.
Oscar? Where's the Oscar?
Yeah. When I have to say, when he said Martha and they realized they both had the mom with the same name, I shed a tear in the theater.
One of the greatest moments in comic book movie history, dude. Was
Yeah.
the best.
Absolutely. Oh man, that's how legends are made.
Not all heroes wear
I
capes.
can't ever
Same
see.
Martha.
At this point, I can't ever see anybody besides Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck playing Superman and Batman. I mean,
Well,
there's no way it's gonna happen.
don't look any further. Because they're both out of there.
Yeah, we will definitely be diving into that. So before we get too far down the rabbit hole, I do want to say, if you guys are Dead Funny fans, this is the Dead Funny team as far as Chris and Dylan. Joey and Anthony are from a channel called Darkstar, which I also am on as well. The link to that channel will be down in the description below. If you have not checked out Darkstar, we do some reaction content over there, so please make sure you go check it out. If you are watching us from the Darkstar channel, the only person in here that is new to you is Dylan. He's part of the Dead Funny team, and welcome to Dead Funny. Anyways.
Feel free to send him all the hate in the comments. He loves it.
So, the DCEU being in trouble. So, some of the stuff that I was reading, and I kind of wanted to go into here. So, has the Henry Cavill leaving been 100% official yet? Because I know that whenever they were signing up for, because basically what I've read is that the issue
Tell
was,
us, dude. You're the host.
okay. Anyway, so basically what I was reading is that because he's doing the Witcher season for Netflix, they're trying to say that schedule conflicts are going to pop up and that he's not going to be able to be Superman. But then I heard that his agent said there should be no issues whatsoever. Henry Cavill still plans to play Superman. But all I've heard from the DC side of that is that he's not going to be returning as Superman. So I got kind of lost on both ends there, and I couldn't find a definite answer. So I didn't know if maybe you guys had heard something that I haven't. But so far,
I
it
mean,
seems
last thing I'm reading right here on September 12th, it said he's out as Superman due to scheduling conflicts.
Damn.
But you know,
See,
I don't know.
what I read was something completely different. It said that he was never going to be out. Like Chris said, his agent said there would be no scheduling conflicts.
So yeah, Superman. So all right. So obviously, so yeah. I mean, if he's just out, I mean that kind of sucks in my opinion because I enjoyed Henry Cavill's Superman. I thought he actually was a really, really good Superman.
Yeah. The only problem for Henry Cavill as Superman is that I think one of the biggest things for DC is Superman and Batman's relationship, and slowly over the course of the past like 5 days, I've essentially convinced myself that Ben Affleck is one of the worst Superman or Batman
Batman ever.
that I've ever seen. I mean, he's so bad.
So,
You
and,
can't change Batman's character like you can with like we talked about this before. I'm just gonna bring up this character even though it's from Marvel, but Spider-Man we talked about a lot before. Me and you have had conversations, Chris, where we talked kind of about how, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and now
Tom
the
Holland.
kid that Tom Holland, have all portrayed Spider-Man in kind of a different way or whatever,
Mhm.
and all of them have different kind of aspects from the actual Spider-Man.
Right.
None of them perfectly portray Spider-Man or Peter Parker like perfectly. A lot of them are different aspects, and part of that has to do with which age, like we're talking about, whether it's like high school Spider-Man versus like adult Spider-Man, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff or whatever. But anyway, Batman, you can't really do what Ben Affleck did to Batman, which was turn him into this kind of like snarky, like they tried to keep the moody, edgy part of Batman, but then also give him like the Tony Stark Iron Man type of like snark and stuff. Like, I hear you can talk to fish. It's like that just doesn't work for Batman. Batman's got to be his edgelord self with a couple quips in, but even when he does his quips and stuff, he does it in like a monotone, like I'm Batman, I'm serious sort of thing or whatever. You just know he's being like dry. But you can't have like Batman be like, oh man, like, I heard you could talk to fish. I heard you're really fast, all that kind of stupid shit. Like, that's just not, it don't work out for it. It doesn't work out for that. Ben Affleck is just not a good Batman. I was actually excited because I like Ben Affleck, and I was excited for him when he was originally said to be Batman, even though a lot of people were not. And I was kind of in his corner. And even after the first movie, Batman v Superman, as a DC fan, I kind of wanted to. My bias pushed me to be a little bit blind toward that movie and his performance overall. And just the more I think about it, the less I like him as Batman. So hopefully he is out, in my opinion.
Agree with that, like hardcore, because I'm a huge Ben Affleck fan, and I was so pumped when he was cast. I thought he was gonna be a fucking great Bruce Wayne and a pretty good Batman, and it wound up all in all, it just wasn't that great to me either. And the first movie, well, I don't think it was straight trash. It was not good though. So, but I literally was like, I watched him like, oh man, this is my guy. Batman's my character. I'm gonna fucking defend him. Fuck what everybody else says.
So, you think? And I mean, I don't know how many times you guys have watched Dawn of Justice and how many times you guys have watched Justice League. I've only watched Justice League twice, and I think Dawn of Justice once.
I've seen them both twice.
Is there a difference as far as a shift for you in Batman between the two movies? Because that's one of the things that I kept reading is like Batman or Ben Affleck was super pumped to come in, and that the Dawn of Justice Batman actually was good. The movie was bad. The Batman was good, and that they tried to do something that him and Snyder have been wanting to do forever, which is this dark Batman. And so many people were like, "Fuck you, da 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 da. It's not Batman." And so now it's kind of like he's just we're giving you the movie you want, but now the Batman is suffering because of it. You guys want
I pretty
this?
much actually. I think now that I'm thinking about it, I pretty much agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, I think the reason why Batman and Ben Affleck's character shifted, I don't personally think it was because he wasn't excited or anything like that. I think part of the reason why it had occurred was because it became a group movie more so than Batman v Superman. Although Wonder Woman was like there, it was very much Batman versus Superman, and Batman was almost kind of like the accidental villain, like in the movie, and so he was able to play that dark role better. Right. But you even saw at the end of that movie when him, Wonder Woman, and Superman all were like going to go fight Doomsday or whatever, that horrible the Ninja Turtle. When they went to go fight him, he made that joke or whatever, and you saw it like right there. Right. And then when they did the whole group movie like that, that's where it turned Ben Affleck into that too. So it's like when he was just Batman, he could play Batman in the darker role a little bit. But when he had to go into the group, it's like he had to take on that role, like I said, of like try to be like the group's Iron Man or something. And it's like, that's not Batman.
Yeah. And I completely agree with that.
As I'm talking to, so I mean,
I think
could have different opinions later too, but I don't know.
As a movie, I like Justice League better than I did Batman vs Superman.
I did
Oh,
as
it is
well.
crazy.
I agree.
Out
I
of
love
both the movies, the fucking biggest thing I can think of is literally the Superman Flash moment where Flash is running.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's like, and it's fucking like an end credit thing.
It's- Oh wait, what?
What?
No, the
I
best
mean-
part of both
I-
movies to me was when they're all fighting Superman
And Flash
and
runs past.
Flash
him.
Well, that's
runs
what I'm
by
talking
and
about.
he
Yeah.
sees him.
That's not an end
No, that was
credit.
like in the middle of
That
the
was
movie.
in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, he's running, and you see fucking Superman's eyes look at him, and he's like, "That was dope."
Yeah,
Like,
because
like,
Flash was like, "Holy shit, he can keep up with me," type deal.
Yeah. That was the best part of both movies, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, I mean, so the way that I looked at it was, and this is personally how I feel with the whole Batman situation, is like, so I mean, it's kind of hard for me to think that you would get casted to play Batman and not be excited. So I'm thinking that he was excited to play fucking Batman, and he was excited to work with Snyder, and they were gonna make this fucking dark, gritty Batman and kind of keep it going forward with kind of almost how the Christian Bale series was, because I mean, he wasn't dark, but he was still dark and gritty.
fucking baller ass Batman.
And then all these fans got pissed off, complained, da 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 da. It was like it's not as lighthearted as the Marvel movies, da 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 da, and all this other shit, which is where I think a lot of that referencing of between him and Tony Stark come in. And so then they tried to redo that with the Justice League, doing it with the group dynamic, which you were talking about, Tony, and it just it didn't translate. It just did not translate. And I think at this point, seeing that and Ben Affleck having to do that, like, I mean, I kind of felt like near the end of the movie, it felt like Ben Affleck was just there to get a paycheck. Like, he physically
Might
just
have been.
didn't
I mean, I
see-
keep up with actors and shit, and I've seen pictures of him and shit hanging out. Like he's so far from being in shape. Like just looking at pictures of him out filming in Batman. I know he's in a suit, but dude, I mean, I look at some of the people, like obviously Thor shows his fucking body off. People like that who staying crazy. Even Tony Stark looks like okay. Ben Affleck literally looks like big walking around in public, like a heavy fucking guy for a superhero. That's pretty crazy. Like he's just fucking there to get a check. Is what I could agree with that.
and that's what I think has happened. And it sucks that it's suffering because of that. But I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's not like he gets to fucking pull rank and I'm fucking Ben Affleck and I play Batman, so I'm gonna fucking play Batman how I want to play Batman. I mean, he's got a role to fucking play, and it just sucks because I mean, we're seeing. Well, I mean, for instance, my biggest issue with Justice League, as far as we're talking about the Batman aspect, and I know I've said this 1,000 times before, and I'll say it again, is the fucking shit-eating smile that he had when fucking Superman showed up during the Steppenwolf fight. Like, we're talking full teeth, bottom and top row, fucking gigantic fucking smile. Oh my god, fucking Superman's here to fucking save me. That would never happen. That maybe a smirk. I'll give you a fucking smirk, but you fucking show me somewhere in the comments and the fucking animated TV series where Batman has this shit-eating fucking full I'm taking a goddamn picture cheese smile because he fucking sees anybody besides his fucking dead parents rising from the fucking grave. I mean, let's be real. That was terrible, and it just took me out because like once again, it goes back to that shift again of where fucking Batman was this dark, gritty guy, and now he's over here cracking jokes that aren't even fucking funny, that feel completely out of place and delivery off. Like, I hear you could talk to fish. It's like, all right, cool. Haha, I get it. I mean, it didn't even sound like it belonged there. And then now we've got him fucking smiling and laughing and having a good time. And it's like, where the fuck did Batman go? When did we lose Batman?
The one thing that does suck is for the movies, Affleck's solo movies. I know that. And that's not going to happen now. 3 Batman solo movies that he produced and directed. In the movies, I know Gone Girl, I like him. Some people might not, but like Gone Girl, Argo, and The Town were all 3 pretty good movies he directed. So I would have liked to have seen his fucking vision of Batman in 3 solo movies, but that's obviously not going to happen now.
Well, we're getting another set. Go ahead.
Can I just step in?
Yeah.
Dylan has been trying to talk for like
Oh shit.
15 minutes, and he has not been fucking.
Go ahead,
a
Dylan.
lot of time.
Anyways, I was gonna point out a thing. What you were talking about a minute ago, Chris. How it goes from a dark, gritty Batman to this shit eating. I'm about to eat your booty like grocery smile.
I didn't go into all that. I said shit eating grin, but all right.
That's why you weren't letting him talk. I got it,
Nah. Anyways, on point. And it's mainly because majority of the fan base now for Marvel, for the MCU and the Detective Comic, whatever the fuck they want to call it,
DCEU.
type stuff, is a lot of people don't know that when Batman and the comic books first started off, it legitly was tailored to adult, teen and up.
Well, I understand
Because
that, but that doesn't.
full gritty. And people nowadays only know the lighthearted Batman, which he only didn't get like that until after the first Robin came in, because in the comic books, because he became a
I'd say our generation right now has a darker Batman than like the
Christian
generation
Bale-
before
Christian
us,
Bale
because
wasn't
the
like-
generation
yeah.
before us had that
He
like
did
shark
too.
repellent fucking
Yeah.
little boy Robin live action fucking like not cartoon but fucking live action like shitty thing where it would like pop up like kablam kablow like sort of deal or whatever. So I think we got a darker version of Batman in Dark
Something
Knight.
else I'll say, and this is like, I mean, man, I wish there was some kind of chart I could see somewhere. I feel like Marvel fucking fanboys really, really hurt the DC movies. They literally go crazy. They, even if they're okay, they completely shit on them. And they're, when I look at a movie review, I see nothing but fucking ridiculous shit on Twitter and online. People are like, it's the worst thing ever. It's garbage. Don't watch it. And some people listen to that shit. It may not be a big fucking impact on how the movie does, but I do feel like it.
I don't
fucking
necessarily
sways people's
know.
opinion.
I don't necessarily know if I do think it has a tiny impact, but I mean Wonder Woman is generally renowned as a solid movie.
Yeah,
like
it is.
Yeah.
most people agree that Wonder Woman was a good movie. I think most people agree Man of Steel was like an okay movie, and I think most people agree Justice League was better than Dawn of Justice. So I mean, although I do agree that there's at least some level of negative impact from the people that are more motivated to be like Marvel fans, I think that in general, at the very least, the hierarchy of DC movies has been accurately portrayed by the general population, because I do think Wonder Woman is the best DC movie that we've seen so far out of
I really
this
like Suicide Squad
DCEU.
too. A lot of people didn't, but I like Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. I thought Suicide Squad was alright. Most people
I
did
thought it
not
was-
think that was a good movie.
I thought it was a terrible movie.
But before we move on to anything else here, just real quick, I just want to say, Chris, you brought up the animated series. That to me, even Christian Bale, and I like Christian Bale, but a lot of these big budget but short sample sizes of Batman try to do something that's not really part of Batman's character, and that is give him like like an arc that he has to like overcome. So, for example, Ben Affleck's Batman has so many flaws in Justice League and in Dawn of Justice or whatever, and they're like anger issues and all this kind of stuff or whatever, and it's almost like the public like meme perception of Batman is what Ben Affleck portrays, whereas like the animated version of Batman is like a no nonsense fucking, I mean, he's paranoid, but like he's paranoid in a way where it like usually ends up being like right. You know what I mean? He's the greatest detective in the world. Like he's right more often than not. Like he's like, I have contingency plans for everybody in the Justice League. Well, guess what? At some point in time, pretty much everybody in the Justice League has gone rogue and gone against everybody else. So boom, he was right. Whereas like the Ben Affleck in whereas Ben Affleck's Batman is almost like this guy who's just like along for the ride, trying to pick up these superhuman fucking people and just send them into battle. Like he's hardly even part of the plan. Like he's not an equal to them. He's just there. Like he's empowering Wonder Woman. He's empowering Superman. He gets Cyborg on board. He's like, hey, Flash, you're like super important to the team. I'm going to teach you how to, save people, save one person and blah, 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 or whatever. But it's like, what is Batman doing in this movie? And it's like nothing. I mean, he's not he's supposed to be the integral part of the planning and all that kind of stuff, and I just don't feel that when I'm watching these movies with Ben Affleck right now.
Right. I mean, that's fair. Yeah. I understand where you're coming from. I mean, yeah, he does have a lot of fucking flaws. I don't know. It's just unfortunate because, like, I mean, at this point, and this is where I think the DCEU is in a lot of trouble, is we have built a franchise with these actors, and we all know that there's a Wonder Woman 2. We all know that Aquaman is going to be releasing soon.
Yep.
So even and most of the stuff that I've seen is like these two movies have to hit it out of the park in order for the DCEU to continue. But even if they do hit it out of the park, I mean, we don't have Ben Affleck, we don't have Henry Cavill.
Don't forget about Shazam.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. But even if they hit these two out of the park, we don't have Henry Cavill. We don't have Ben Affleck. So are we just gonna fucking just recast in the middle of the fucking DCEU?
I don't
I
think
was
that's
gonna say about
necessarily
this.
going to be a negative. Go ahead.
Yeah, something I was gonna say about this is I'm not sure with the Aquaman and fucking Wonder Woman part because they obviously have movies coming out and people seem to like their characters, but they have a perfect opportunity with the Flash movie in 2020 to do a Flashpoint and just reset it and start over.
Right,
But there's
but
no way
are
they're gonna
but
wipe away Wonder Woman and Aquaman characters.
they would have to wipe away them and at the same
They're all
time,
off the change except for Flash.
and at the same time, I mean, what are we just not gonna have Batman and Superman?
Well, no, I think that'd be recasted. I think it would literally start over the DCEU.
No, I'm talking about, are we not gonna have Batman and Superman until 2020?
Oh, until then, I don't know. Superman's supposed to have a cameo in Shazam.
I mean, do they even have a group movie planned?
No,
So then-
Maybe
Aquaman,
not. Maybe not.
Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Flash in 2020.
Because right now, I mean, I like Jason Momoa. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Jason Momoa. I love
We gotta see
the
how he does
actor.
in this
He's
Aquaman
awesome.
movie.
I don't think at this current stage, Aquaman has the shoulders to carry a franchise.
How about this? I just thought about this. Technically speaking, Wonder Woman was a self-contained movie. If Aquaman is as well, they legit could reset the franchise and just change the cinematic universe to not include that. Introduce a new Batman in Aquaman or in Flash or whatever you want to introduce him in, and basically literally just pretend like those movies never happened and they're not part of the same universe. You're saying they built the universe, but Batman and Superman have not been part of the Wonder Woman the movie or Aquaman that we know of yet. So if they're not part of those movies, you can keep those two characters, you can keep those two movies, swap the shitty movies, and then just start from scratch from there.
Right.
The perfect fucking outlet for sure if they use it.
I mean,
I don't think they're
Be
gonna.
lit.
I don't know what they would. I mean, what happened at the end of Justice League? Who's coming? Seven was the one that was there. Who's supposed to be the other person?
fucking
Darkseid.
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 Yeah.
Darkseid.
So
Darkseid,
Darkseid. Yeah.
Darkseid, whatever his name is.
Catch us on the dark seed, dude. Anyway, so I mean, it's unfortunate that storyline will get cut in that scenario or whatever. But personally, that's just the most satisfying conclusion to me. Just basically say those two aren't part of the universe anymore. Aquaman and Wonder Woman both still have their origin story already. Now you fucking put in a Batman origin story somewhere along the way or something. And I don't know. I feel like Superman works best in a.
Solo.
I don't know. You think so? I don't know. I actually.
What I'm
don't know
thinking
my
is what are they
opinion
going to do
is
with character-wise? Will they? Because obviously she's big now. Gal Gadot was like a mediocre actor. She was in like Fast and the Furious. Jason Momoa was in fucking Game of Thrones for a few seasons. When they recast, and the guy who plays Flash literally been in like Perks of Being a Wallflower. When they recast Batman and Superman, will they be big characters because the character's so big, the Batman and Superman hero themselves, or will they fucking go with like newer type actors?
Just to throw out there to the fans, I know Jason Momoa was in every season
Oh yeah,
of
Your
Stargate
fucking show,
Atlantis,
Stargate Atlantis. I did not.
which was amazing.
They just weren't like top tier actors.
I mean, I kind of think what Tony or something that Tony was talking about that I kind of think could also work is doing like the Flashpoint paradox, and then just keeping Wonder Woman and Aquaman's fucking origins in there, and just keeping the same actors, and then just considering it a different universe, and going forward, and then having like a new cast.
So if they did a new Justice movie, it'd be new Aquaman and new Wonder Woman.
It would be a new Batman, and it would be a new Superman.
But it would still be Gal Gadot and fucking Jason Momoa playing those characters.
So yes, basically what I'm saying is that Gal Gadot would stay, Jason Momoa would stay, and it would keep those, and basically it would be considered a new universe. We can even keep Flash, or fucking, and then they could do a Cyborg, they could do a fucking. It'd be a great time to fucking bring in a Green Lantern at that point, and then we could cast a new Batman and cast a new Superman. So where my issues come in with that though is that there has already been another Batman series announced, right? A 3 Batman movie. I can't remember who it is. It's supposed to be the director, and he's already come out and said that he has no plans on linking the 3-movie series to the DCEU
Yeah, the guy
whatsoever.
he wants to get John Hamm to play Batman apparently, which is a fucking good actor.
Yeah, he is. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
You bring in a new Batman and Superman, preferably. I would like those two to be casted together. I really feel like the chemistry of
Between
Batman
those
and
two?
Superman is paramount to creating a solid Justice League
I agree.
dynamic.
That's literally what got fucking Tom Holland his job. They brought in 3 fucking Spider-Mans. They all 3, the final 3 picks of the 10 people that tried out, got to do a fucking set with Robert Downey Jr. and Downey Jr. picked the fucking Spider-Man. The chemistry with him and Tom Holland.
I think chemistry between those two is absolutely. I mean, it has to be good in order for them to create a solid movie. I think the character. There's so many downfalls of the DC movies, and the main biggest one is that they're not very fun. When I was watching the scene with Flash trying to fucking go at Superman and his eyes like go over and he sees him and you just see Ezra Miller, is that right? His face just like go like, holy shit, somebody can actually keep up with me. I was having fun watching that.
Right.
The rest of the movie, you're just not having fun watching it. Jason Momoa, he's a fun guy. Gal Gadot's movie, I enjoyed watching Wonder Woman a lot. Like I really
It
liked
was a really good movie.
And part of the reason for that as well was the male character in that movie, played by the guy who plays Captain Kirk, Chris Pine. I mean, he's fun to watch. He's a fun actor to watch or whatever. The DC movies, I like dark, gritty movies, but there's still some level of fun you're supposed to have watching them. And right now, they just lack that. There's just not fun.
So then to bring that, then to kind of like ties on that, what would you say would be the fun in Watchmen then? Because I feel like Watchmen is the dark gritty they're trying to go for.
What is the fun in Watchmen? The fun in Watchmen is like all their fighting scenes. So for example, just off the top of my head, when they're in the prison and the two come to save him and he gets out at the same time and they're walking, I'm literally envisioning the scene right now. Come around the corner and like everybody's like fighting in the thing and they just start beating the shit out of everybody. It's like the same feeling you get when you watch like Kick-Ass, that movie, or whatever, with them just whooping everybody's ass.
Yeah.
Like that fight scene or the church scene in what's that new like spy movie or whatever, the Kingsman, the church scene in that movie, like that's fun. Like, yes, the rest of the movie had dark, gritty stuff or whatever, and that had its place, and it made it good. I loved watching it, of course. But there were elements in that movie where I was like, holy shit, this is fun.
Fair enough. Because I feel like that's the dark and gritty they're trying to go for. I remember seeing something where they were talking about that, but, I mean, I don't know.
I'm not talking about let's go to shawarma. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying we have to have fun watching it.
Right.
I have fun watching horror movies, but they're not having fun.
Yeah.
The characters aren't having fun, but I'm having fun watching it. Like there's anticipation. There's just like something in you. It's hard to describe what it is, but you have it when you're watching something.
Right.
Everybody has it when they're watching something they enjoy, and afterwards, like, oh my god, that was good. You watch Infinity War, most people agree with that feeling.
So would you say?
Very few people think that when they're watching the DC movies right now.
Right, and would you say because of the past failures, it has tainted our idea of fun for the future movies?
There is bias. There is an anxiety you get when you go to watch a DC movie in the theaters, if you're a DC fan especially. I don't know about casual fans, but if you're like me or Joey I know, and you're like for sure a DC fan, you want the DC universe to succeed, and you go to the theater and you're like, please be a good movie. But that shouldn't be in your head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're watching the whole movie like, am I having fun? I don't know if I'm having fun. And by the end of the movie, you're like, maybe I had fun. Like, if that's your feeling, then it's like, you probably weren't having fun.
That's such a good point, because I come out being like, it was okay. And I get on the mic, I'm like, dude, I fucking like that movie. And y'all are like, it's okay. And I'm like, fuck, it was only okay. I gotta fucking stick up for it.
Yeah.
They're better than those movies. Fuck. What's that? The Spider-Man guy? Like the funny movies, Deadpool? Something like that?
Anyways.
I mean, you have a lot of fun watching Deadpool.
Yes, I do. I love
But
it.
at the same time, Deadpool doesn't have enough of the moments on the other side that I was saying that puts it in the upper echelon for me. So that's the reason why, where that balance comes in, like I'm talking about. Obviously, you're a huge Deadpool fan, so I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about the merits of Deadpool or whatever. But that's my personal opinion. Deadpool is all the fun without the really, really good moments, and that's how I feel about Ant-Man too. Except Deadpool's better than Ant-Man. Ant-Man sucks, but like that's how I feel about some of those movies that are just too much fun with not enough of the like either epic or sad or emotion, whatever, something.
Right.
Like literally, Justice League was supposed to be like Avengers, and it wasn't even fucking close.
Right.
I mean, not even close.
Might have been close to Avengers 2.
Avengers 2 was terrible. I was so upset with Avengers 2. Ultron is my favorite fucking villain, and that was fucking trash, dude. Oh my god.
Did a horrible job with the
Strings.
But I mean, the original Avengers, and Infinity War are on a different stratosphere. You got like 9 levels before Justice League would even come close to those two movies. I mean,
Right.
they're so good.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand what you're talking about with going into the movies and fucking thinking, is this movie good? I liked Justice League, and I feel the main reason why I like Justice League is that as I went to go watch it, I was like, I'm not going in with high expectations. I'm not necessarily going in with low expectations. I understand that there is no comparison to be made between this and Avengers. I'm just going to try to enjoy it for what it is. And I did actually enjoy the movie, but I could still see the flaws, and that's where my issue comes in with the DC movies and what you were just talking about, where it's like you want it to be good, but at the end of the day, it still wasn't even good. It was an okay movie, and it's unfortunate whenever it's something like the fucking Justice League. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Obviously, somewhat through this conversation, for the people who are new to Dead Funny and new to Darkstar, I'm a Marvel fanboy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I like DC. There's no ifs, ands, or buts
What?
about it. I am definitely a Marvel fanboy, but I've always said I want to see good DC movies because I do like the DC universe. I mean,
You gotta have and you want a rivalry too.
and you want the
competition to
rivalry.
make each other
Exactly.
better.
Imagine right now that DCEU was releasing movies that were on Marvel's level, and Marvel had to compete. Imagine Marvel stepping up from what they're doing now. That would be
Oh my
fucking
God.
mind-blowing. That would be absolute mind-blowing.
Literally something you said where you were like going into the movie not expecting much or not comparing it. I remember fucking watching the movie and all I seen about it was fucking people being like, Avengers is better, Avengers this, that.
And,
Like, it ain't fucking nowhere near Avengers. We know that. Like, and it was just judged way too hard, in my opinion.
right, and that's something that I wanted to bring up too, is that, and this is something I was going to bring up later, but we'll just do that now, is there can't be a comparison. And I'm talking to DC fans and I'm talking to Marvel fans. There cannot be a comparison because it has been shown time and time again in these movies. It's not the comics. It's just physically not the comics. It's not the animated shows. It's not the live action shows. There can't be a comparison because at this point in time, it's been shown that DC is having a rough time getting off the ground. It's just having a rough time. I don't know whether it's casting. I don't know whether it's the direction from the directors and the way that they're going with the movies or the choices they're making as far as whether they want to be gritty, real, fucking fake, whatever. I don't know exactly where the issues are, but at this moment in time, there cannot be a comparison. But if you're looking for the comparison and you're going to these movies and you're writing these reviews where you're like, oh, this is shit, it doesn't compare, it's not going to help them get better if they're just being compared to like legitimately what is the fucking best thing in the movies right now, which is all the fucking Marvel movies that are coming out. Every time they hit, it's a fucking blockbuster, unless you're like a fucking Ant-Man. But it's one of those things where the comparison just isn't there. You can't make the comparison anymore. We need to start looking at the DC movies comparing to other DC movies and moving forward in that direction versus comparing to Marvel movies who have been pretty much hitting the ground running since fucking Iron Man 1 almost. Iron Man 1 was the greatest, but pretty much since Iron Man 1 have been hitting the ground fucking running. I mean, it's been a long time. I think it's been like 27 years, I think they said. No, that's not right. For 27 years. What the fuck am I talking about? Wow, I cannot do math. It's
The
been...
Iron Man?
Yeah, I'm fucking 27, and I wouldn't even be fucking born. Okay, anyways. How long do they say it's been? It's been...
I don't know. What has it been, like 10 years?
10, 12. I want to say it was like 12.
10, 12, yeah. That sounds about right, maybe.
And like we had the
I
first
don't know, like 56 years.
the first movie of the DCEU was Dawn of Justice, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and that was how many years ago?
I don't know, like 4.
Yeah,
4.
so it's not even fucking close. Like we legit cannot have these comparisons because they're not helping anything. First off, and it's not going to make you enjoy the movie watching experience at all. So anybody that's going to watch these, like how Joey just pointed out, go into this fucking movie and then all you see is people just shitting on it saying the Avengers was better. The comparison's just not there. They haven't had the time to build these characters. You're watching like a starter movie. It's like basically putting 2 TV shows up that you've been watching for a long time. And then you're watching another show that's supposed to be similar to it. And this show, you're like on episode 48. But on this show, you're like episode 1. You're like, well, this fucking show sucks compared to this one. Well, yeah, because you've had that time to fucking build up with it and go with it. The comparisons just can't be made at this point in time anymore. It's just not possible. In my opinion. Sorry, in my opinion.
I'd like to throw out another concept that I just thought of as well, which I just thought I actually kind of find interesting. Prior to Iron Man and this start of the Marvel Universe, the Avengers, while existing and popular in comic book culture and stuff, this is not a household like phenomenon. I had literally never heard of the team Avengers. Now, I didn't grow up with other comic book fans or anything like that prior to these movies and them starting to come together and all this kind of stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, like Thor. Thor was a Norse god to me until his movie came out. Iron Man, obviously, I'd heard of. I mean, he's probably like the closest one to being like on that tier or whatever. The ones that I've heard or whatever. But who are the other ones? Hulk, obviously, everybody knows Hulk. But Captain America, I barely knew about Captain America. Like, I knew he existed, but once again, he wasn't like he is now, where it's like an obvious household name or whatever. Whereas these characters in the Justice League, every single one of them, even though Aquaman's kind of a joke in the name, but Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, Aquaman, these 5 characters have been household names that every single person knows since I was born, basically. And I think that puts DC at a disadvantage right now because they have expectations to live up for these characters, and they haven't been allowed to build it like Marvel was with these other characters, where it was like, hey, Iron Man, oh, he's snarky and fun, that's pretty cool. Oh, Thor, oh my god, this whole Asgard world, this is crazy. Captain America, he's just like the normal guy with like a little bit extra powers, fucking doing like everything for them has gotten built. I remember Guardians of the Galaxy, seeing the trailer. You guys know this. I said that looks like it's going to be the first terrible Marvel movie. That movie looks like trash. It's my favorite Marvel movie now. Like everything in terms of like that, they didn't have the expectations. It's the same thing as like when a TV show comes out or a movie comes out for like a book you've read, or an anime you've watched, or a TV show or something like that, you know, and it's adapting into something else, and you're like, well, I read the original book, and this is trash. Well, I watched the anime, this is trash, right? And I do it too. Everybody does it. I do it too. And it is. I mean, it's just trash comparatively. And people who fucking read mangas or comics or mangas, like watch anime, like the anime's trash, read the manga. So like everybody does this, and that same concept can be applied to those 5 heroes. Into Green Lantern too, you could even throw in there. To those five or 6 DC heroes, because everybody knows them. Everybody remembers seeing some sort of cartoon of them or some sort of movie of them or something, especially Batman and Superman and all them. And you have your expectations to live up to for them or whatever. You didn't get to build those characters. You didn't get to make those characters your own and people grow with that, right? Like we did with the Marvel Universe. They built the Marvel Universe, and except for like nerdy comic book fans like Chris, the casual fans going to the theater weren't going, yeah, what was that? That's not the Captain America I know. Well, I didn't fucking know Captain America. That is the Captain America I know. That is the Iron Man I know. The Thor I know. These characters are the characters that I know. Whereas Batman, especially Batman's got what, like 900 movies and TV shows and everything else or whatever. I know Batman, my Batman from my childhood growing up or whatever. So when I see a Batman, I can compare that to my childhood Batman. Right. I can't do that with the Marvel movies because I don't have that same thing. I can do it with the X-Men movies as well, and I can do it with Spider-Man movies and stuff like that. But I can't do it with the Avengers because I don't know the Avengers before these movies started coming out and becoming popular.
It's fair enough. I agree with that. There's definitely a reputation to uphold for sure. Absolutely. I do want to point out that this is like full blown proof that Tony just absolutely hates Cyborg because the entire time that's the only character he didn't name.
I thought about Cyborg, but I don't think Cyborg
I know.
I don't think Cyborg was like those ones.
I know. It's just funny.
The only people that knew.
You even brought someone who's not in the fucking movie. and didn't even say Cyborg.
Well, I mean, Green Lantern is way more popular than Cyborg was prior to this.
It is
But
true. It is
The
true.
reason I thought about Cyborg and I was going to say his name, but I was like, no. The only reason I even knew Cyborg before this movie was because of Teen Titans. Otherwise, I wouldn't know who Cyborg was. I mean, I'd put
so
Robin. I mean, Robin isn't in the movie either, and he's another one. That's like 7 characters that if you walk to 100 people in the street and 90 of them don't know who those characters are, I'd be fucking shocked or whatever. But if you would have went in the street 12 years ago before Iron Man or any of the Avengers start coming on there or whatever, and I would have asked who Thor was, every single person would have been like, that was that's like, not everyone, sorry. Most, like, it would have at best been split like 50-50 of either, probably people wouldn't know before they'd even fucking, more people would say they didn't even know before they would say it was a fucking comic book character.
Yeah.
Definitely Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
There'd
yeah.
be like
absolutely.
2 nerds in the crowd. They'd be like, Guardians of the Galaxy, I love them. Fucking other 98 people, who the fuck are the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with that for sure. It's definitely a rough situation. I mean, yeah.
I mean, just imagine now. Imagine in like 30 years they reboot the Marvel movies again. Guess what we're going to be comparing them to? This Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yep.
And if they're not as good as this, we're going to shit on it.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
very
going to
true.
happen. So,
That's facts.
I mean, hopefully it'll be like virtual reality by then, so it'll just be dope anyway, but
Oh god. Instead of just watching the movies, you get to like put on a headset and like,
yes, dude. I'll be Cat. Chris will be Iron Man. Joey will be Hulk. And Dylan will be Scarlet Witch.
I'm glad they do. I'm sexy as fuck.
But I mean, it sucks, dude. And like going back and talking about that cast change, like I really like Gal Gadot. I really like Jason Momoa, and like Flash. Honestly, I could take or leave it, and that's solely because I'm biased towards the Flash TV show.
The
I love the kid that
TV
plays
Flash, dude.
I love him so
I
much.
think they
He's
I
so
do
good.
too.
to play the Flash in the movie so fucking bad.
Yeah,
He does
and
such a good job.
and if they have to reset, because first off, I would like to say this real quick. If they do a Flashpoint Paradox movie, I will fucking, even if it's hot trash, it's gonna be hard for me not to like that movie. If they can do it anything like the fucking comics or the animated movie, like that shit was so
Already got expectations.
fucking good already.
Chris has 2 dials. 1 in 10. There's no in between, dude. Oh, I think I've heard of that before and I liked it. This is gonna be good no matter what. What? I've never heard of that before. I hate it, dude. 1. -1.
So good.
It's trash.
So
dude.
true, dude. So true. But and I would just like, I would hate for them to have to fucking recast them just so we can fucking move forward. Like that would suck so bad. But at the same time, I don't know how.
Well, let's see what Aquaman does first on its own. It may be hot
Yeah.
trash.
This is what I've been waiting on. Aquaman, Shazam. I want to see these 2 movies. I want to see how good they are.
So that's what I was
That's
gonna
what I
say
wanna
earlier. Is that basically they said, judging on how Aquaman does, Shazam might just be considered a standalone and not part of the DCEU.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Whenever you brought it up when I was talking about the DCEU, so they said based on how Aquaman does, Shazam might be another one of the movies that are going to disconnect themselves from the DCEU franchise and just
I
be a
just wanna throw-
standalone.
So I rewatched all the trailers for all the upcoming Marvel and DC movies again today. So Venom, Captain Marvel,
Dark Phoenix.
Phoenix, Aquaman, Shazam. I think that's it.
I think so.
And the comments I read for Shazam, so true. Not Shazam, Aquaman, that I was watching for Aquaman, and I 100% was thinking the same thing while I was watching it. One of the comments was underwater Wakanda, and it's literally just Black Panther, but in the water. Like he has to go home to stop his fucking half brother or whatever from taking the crown and going to war with the human race. And it's legit like the same plot as Black Panther, basically.
Director's like, I like this Black Panther movie. I know what we're gonna do.
So I was
That's
like,
funny.
no way. I mean, it literally is. They're like underwater Wakanda. That's just all it is. The one thing I'm worried about for Aquaman, so I will say it looked good to me, but the one thing I'm worried about is the same thing that we've gotten a lot of problems with in various different comic book movies, particularly DC, but it also happened in Spider-Man 3, way back Tobey Maguire's, is there's a villain. That villain is his half-brother trying to take over Atlantis and go to war with everybody. Well, also in the trailer is this fight with, shit, what's his name? God damn it! I always think Black Mantis, but that's not it. Is it? What is it?
I know who you're talking about. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, it's
He's-
Mantis, but
It's definitely
Manta, Black Manta.
Black Manta. There you go.
Okay, so he's in the movie, and he's a completely different villain. I know I looked at the cast and everything. Like, obviously, he's not the same guy or anything. So that's a completely different villain too. I'm just worried about the split storylines. Too many villains, too many characters and plots and stuff going on or whatever. Like, I don't know how it's all going to tie together. Hopefully, it ties together well. But I am worried that the central plot of his brother going to war with the humans and stuff like that is it's kind of like Batman v Superman, right? The central plot is Batman v Superman, but wait a second, there's this teenage mutant turtle over here too. You better watch out for that. So I'm worried about that occurring here. Although he did look good, Black Manta looked good in the trailer,
Fair
like
enough.
really good actually.
So I'm confused. You referred to Spider-Man 3? Where was the?
Yes, because they had Venom, Sandman.
Oh, okay.
That was like the
Yeah,
big complaint of that movie. They had like 100 different fucking villains in that
Yeah,
movie.
this director directing
Green Goblin.
The director directing Aquaman is like a fucking horror film guy. All the Saws, and fucking The Conjuring,
Wow.
2, Insidious, Annabelle, Demonic, all fucking horror movies. Resident Evil, and he's fucking doing a superhero.
I mean,
movie.
Resident Evil, you've got the action. So I mean,
Just one, the reboot. It's a reboot they're doing. It's not done yet.
oh, okay.
Not
Well, then we have no
originals.
idea. He's untested.
Untested on that Resident Evil.
Untested.
But a lot of fucking Lights Out. Literally all the big scary movies recently. Well, big, just fucking ones I know.
Oh.
So in other words, if
of
there's a lot of blood and carnage in this movie, we know where it's coming from.
Is it rated R?
I
don't think
doubt
Carnage
it.
is going to be in the movie.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
not
think
rated
so
R.
either.
I'm pretty sure it's PG-13.
I would be surprised if they do it a fucking
Yeah,
rated
it's
R
PG-13.
Aquaman. Imagine how nuts that would be. Imagine fucking waking up tomorrow and hearing that Aquaman's gonna be rated R. I would legitimately be like, why? I mean, there are
Did you hear what I
so
said? I said, yeah, I don't think Carnage is going to be rated R.
Yeah, I know. I did hear that, yeah. But I don't think Joey did. Oh man. Anyways, but imagine, like, I would be like, why? There are so many things you guys have been doing wrong in the movies, and you're gonna make
They're
fucking
just like
Aquaman
cutting
rated
dudes'
R.
heads off and shit all over the place, dude. It'd be so sick. Sharks are just eating people left and right. Oh man, it'd be brutal.
Oh my god, that would be the worst. I mean, it would be good, but
Aquaman
not,
rated
not
triple
for this.
X.
He's like fucking mermaids and shit. Oh my god, dude, that's fucking crazy.
Oh man. That is
Oh.
basically the original plot of the story. Fucking, I was watching the first thing. His dad was a lighthouse keeper. My mom was a mermaid or whatever he said. He said a queen. That's what he said. But she was just a mermaid, fucking sitting on the shore. He just picks her up, and I guess they just bone until they make Jason Momoa. So
Well, yeah, I mean, she lays eggs, and then the dad comes over there and just whacks
Oh,
off
yeah.
onto him. And then 9 months later, we got baby
Get this
Jason
shit with
Momoa.
let me get this shit with my GoPro, dude. This POV shot.
That would make
Alright,
for one terrible
Upload to
fucking.
Pornhub. All right.
That would make for one terrible fucking movie, dude. Oh my god.
POV. Man jizzes. Man fertilizes wife's eggs.
The story of how the Aquaman was born. I mean, It sucks. I mean, I got to give it to Jason Momoa though. I mean, he's kind of taking it like a champ because I mean, there's got to be a shitload of pressure on him because I mean, it's not a secret. This movie fucking bombs. I mean, it kind of feels like the DCEU is just done at that point. I mean,
Wait a second, is he on a TV show too, like Frontier or something like that?
yep, he's got his own TV show, Netflix TV show, but he could stay.
Is it called Frontier?
Yes, Cavill has to go. Cavill goes to get a new Netflix TV show. Cavill's gone, but fucking Jason Momoa's got Frontier, and it's
Witcher?
got like fucking 2 seasons already. I think they're
Yeah, but he's got The Witcher, dude.
dude,
Not making too-
It's literally just gonna be a full season of Gwent.
dude. I hope so, dude. I would watch the shit out of that, bro.
All right. Does anybody disagree that Wonder Woman is the best movie out of the ones they've released so far?
I don't think so. I totally agree with you.
I was
Oh.
very confused by your answer.
Joey's really sexist, so it's hard for him. He hates women empowerment.
I'm gonna go with Wonder Woman, I guess.
Wonder Woman is for sure number one. Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I was saying I don't think so, as in I was saying I don't think any of us will disagree with them.
I got you.
Joey's got an eye on Suicide Squad right now because he loves Margot Robbie so goddamn
So
much.
so is that
and Will Smith and Jared Leto, like his whole
It's
crew is in Suicide Squad, so he's like, "Fuck, dude."
I was just about to say, is that considered part of the DCEU? But Batman didn't make an appearance, so I guess it is. And it was it was Ben Affleck's Batman.
It
So
was Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
so I do have a question though, right quick. So when we were talking about Walking Phoenix, so I guess I'm a little out of the loop on that one. So that's a different movie. Like Jared Leto is still the Joker for the DCEU,
Oh,
He's
yeah,
the joke
okay.
VCU.
and Walking Phoenix is just gonna be.
I think an origin movie. That's why they got that weird paint. It's like, I think it's gonna be an origin movie, like Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
Jack
Well,
Nicholson.
okay. So I think there are 3 movies after Wonder Woman that you could put in the next that I guess we can argue about potentially, and that's Man of Steel, Justice League. Dawn of Justice is the worst one.
Easily.
I'm in.
Man of Steel, Justice League, and Suicide Squad. In my
And
opinion.
Suicide Squad are those 3. Which one would you choose out of those 3?
I choose Suicide Squad.
Justice League.
Dylan.
Justice League, Suicide Squad, Man of Steel. What's number 2 for you?
I'm thinking. I honestly, I would have. I'm halfway gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go with Suicide Squad for number 2.
What's it called?
Just-
They got a
I'm gonna go Justice League as well then. So Justice League or Suicide Squad, one of those 2. Then
We got Man,
Man
of
of
Steel.
Steel, then Dawn of Justice. Now, what if we threw in a really, really great movie like Green Lantern?
Can I make a second like garbage tree to put that in?
I mean, I'm hoping Birds of Prey is gonna be good. That's gonna be a tale. It's gonna be 5 fucking women on screen or 4 women. Fucking, we'll see how that works out.
What are you going on about?
Hell, fuck you.
This
talking
next DC
about?
movie.
That's this fast.
That's a DC movie?
Yeah, Harley Quinn and fucking the other 3 villain people.
Oh, that's gonna be trash.
Harley
Before-
Quinn,
It's all Birds of Prey.
So
Poison Ivy, Catwoman. I can't remember the other one.
In our opinion,
gonna
what do
s-
we think they need to do going forward in order for them to turn this shit around?
Flash
I'm gonna
40.
stick with
Go
stick
watch
with
Marvel.
my idea, which was they basically pretend like Dawn of Justice and Justice League never happened. They treat Wonder Woman as their Iron Man. They treat Aquaman as their whatever comes after Iron Man,
Captain
and
America.
then Captain America, sure, and that no, he could be Thor, Aquaman like their Thor, and then
Aquaman like their Ant Man.
Like,
Batman needs a new movie with a better Batman.
He'll be Cap.
Superman does not need a movie to start. Then they need a Flash movie. So Flash Batman after Aquaman. I don't care about Shazam. Shazam's fucking shitty anyway. And then after
looks like-
those 4 movies, then they make a Justice League movie where Superman comes in at some point along the way and Green Lantern. And then those 2 get their own movies. Wonder Woman 2. I guess Wonder Woman 2 is probably going to come before that anyway, huh?
Yeah,
That's coming soon.
yeah.
So I guess we're going to get that before that. But
Probably
then
2020.
Green Lantern, Superman need a movie. We need a Titans movie that isn't shitty. And then the Titans can start coming in or whatever. They need to start building it like with like a 10-year plan of like doing it, and they get rid of Dawn of Justice and Justice League, get a new Batman, get a new Superman, and start with the Marvel formula instead of starting with the opposite of the Marvel formula, where they were like, hey, let's start with the Avengers.
So
all right, this didn't go well.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
what
I was going to ask you.
literally has the plan down, dude.
I got it figured out.
That's what I was about to ask you. So you think they should go the Marvel route and just completely fucking...
Yes, they should
flip it
just
around.
literally copy them.
Even though they don't want to.
And we
They
see the
should
fucking-
copy them almost exactly, except use their heroes,
They're already doing that with Aquaman.
and that's it.
And then we're gonna see the fucking Spider-Man meme where he's pointing like me, you.
Yes, I agree. They are basically doing that. I'm just saying, and then they need to. What they need to do is, after they get the heroes established, in about 3 or 4 more movies, in their own solo movies, a few more established, then they need to choose. I don't care if it's Flash Paradox. I don't care. Flashpoint Paradox. I don't give a shit. They need to choose a popular, well-known, well-respected storyline for the entire Justice League, and they need to build that like they did with, like Marvel did, going all the way from the beginning to
Fucking
end
Thanos.
with Thanos and the Infinity
And
Gauntlet.
they would probably
that
have to
entire
just rerun
thing,
Darkseid.
and then they can do
Darkseid's the big boy.
they can do the little things like Civil War was like a whole thing. They just threw that in to the middle of it, so
That
they
would
had
be
like
your
huge
Flashpoint
storyline. But that was
Paradox.
after everything was established already, so it didn't seem like forced or anything like DC's did, where they were just like, throw it all in there, guys. We're fucking Justice League. We don't need establishing movies for any of these guys. Just fucking chuck them in. We'll be fine. So once they establish them, then they can start doing these fucking grand ones. And like I said, that's when they could start doing these ones. I personally would really like to see at some point, and I'm biased as fuck, obviously, but I would love to see a Hal Jordan Parallax storyline come on the big screen at some point.
That'd be
That's
pretty
one of my
dope.
favorite
Dude, the way Marvel did Avengers was fucking, or Thanos was fucking unreal. Having the fucking stones and shit so early on with the little artifacts that were the stones, they were fucking had their shit ready to go.
Yeah, they did. And I agree. Like, if they had a 10-year plan, I mean, it sucks to say that they had to go the Marvel route because, I mean, obviously they don't want to hear that. But, I mean, if they had a plan.
I would rather see a great Justice League movie in 10 years when I'm fucking dying of old age than
Same.
see like 6 more shitty fucking DC movies over the next 6 fucking years. And then they're like, you know what? Let's do the Marvel route. And then we don't get to see an actual good Justice League movie until like 2060 when I am Cyborg, because most of my body parts have been replaced with robot parts, and I am now Cyborg. I don't need to go watch it. I can just live it.
So, I mean, yeah, there is one thing I did want to ask because I was about to touch on it and then we went on to something else. So, do you think Superman is a movie breaker?
A movie break. So are you saying because
For
he's
plot.
with the group, he's so strong
Yes.
that it ruins the other characters?
Correct.
You have to have an enemy.
Because it
that's strong
seemed
enough
like, to
actually
me, in
resist.
Justice League, they physically could not do anything without Superman.
Yeah.
Right, because the guy was too strong, because he had to be too strong, because otherwise Superman wouldn't have any problem with him, which
Right.
he basically didn't anyway. But so Superman, so I would say this, since we're kind of still talking about what I would do. What I would do is I'd recast Superman, like I said, everything that happened, Man of Steel, all 3 of those movies, Man of Steel, Dawn of, even though I did like Man of Steel and Justice League a little bit, but Man of Steel, Justice League, Dawn of Justice, they're just not part of this universe anymore. You have a new Superman because Cavill is out, and you create a Superman that is not at full strength at the start, and he gets stronger as the series progresses, which I think kind of happened to Thor a little bit as well, right? Like Thor became stronger because he ended up getting Odin's like powers and stuff like that, or something.
first
like that. I
Odin
don't
took
know. He
his
became
powers
more powerful
away.
as it comes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first he took his powers away, then the whole time was getting his powers back. Then he got his powers back, and he had to learn how to like use it the way he's supposed to. Then he lost his fucking hammer. Then he had to fucking be without his hammer, and now he had to get his fucking axe. So Thor's been constantly jumping like power hurdles since the movie
It's hard
started.
to say perfectly, because here's how Avengers works, right? Avengers started by you had a massive army and then the big bosses, and the stronger characters took out the big bosses, and like you had Hawkeye taking out the little minions or whatever, so they had something fun to do, right? It's like giving a little kid like arts and crafts to do at their table. It's like, oh, Hawkeye, you got arrows, that's cute. Here, take care of these little minion ones or whatever, and we'll have Hulk and Thor take on the big like flying giant things, right? I'm always angry. All right, so that's kind of like how Avengers worked. The reason why, in my opinion, Avengers 2 Age of Ultron was so shitty was because they basically tried to use the exact same formula in that movie. Hey, let's have like a billion little Ultrons go around. That way, Hawkeye has somebody to kill. Scarlet Witch, not Scarlet Witch, Scarlett Johansson. Okay, Black Widow has somebody to kill. Like, these shitty characters have people they can kill because they're too weak to take on the bigger characters or whatever. Avengers Infinity War completely shifted the script on that again, so we felt like we had the big boss, and that was Thanos. The problem with Avengers Age of Ultron was supposed to be that, but he wasn't, because they had to nerf his ass so that the characters like Hawkeye and Iron Man could or not Iron Man, fucking Captain America and all them could like still kind of make a legitimate difference without feeling like they weren't, they needed participation trophies basically.
Right. Fair enough.
So
Place goes
the problem is that Avengers stole that already. So Justice League can't really use that without it just seeming like, hey, you know what this looks like? The plot to Avengers. But if it was far enough away, maybe they could, and they could just get away with it, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I don't know. I don't know if it's so hard, because I'm gonna say no. There should be a way for them to be able to do it, because the comic books have done it for years. And if they can do it in the comic books, they can figure out a way to get it done in the movies. They just need to write it better. Like I said, maybe start off with a Superman that's not as powerful, and through some way, he becomes more and more powerful as the series goes along, so that he can start fighting the bigger guys.
Saying, they can go from the New 52 DC comics, and the Superman in that one, the New 52 reboot. The Superman's like severely far weaker than the original.
I think
Superman beforehand.
I think Superman is not. Superman has to go like beyond in order for him to completely outmatch like Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. Like, he's supposed to have to go like full out in order to be like a mismatch for them. So personally, to me, it should work out similar to the Avengers, where they have like heavy hitters like Thor and Hulk. Like, you don't watch Thor and Hulk and think, oh, Thor's way out of Hulk's league, or Hulk's way out of Thor's league. But you do think, oh, Thor and Hulk are way out of Cap's league. So like, there should be a dichotomy like that for Justice League as well. Like, you should know, like, fucking, yeah, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Green Lantern are all out of Batman's league. Like, there shouldn't be any question to that or whatever. So, but at the same time, you shouldn't have us watching the screen and think, man, Wonder Woman literally couldn't even hit Superman, like, and do any legitimate damage because he's so much stronger than her. Like, I don't think that's how it actually is. Like, he is that much stronger than her, but only if he's like sun dip raging, like he's fucking going like 100% all out.
Right.
But when he's not, when he's just like doing his thing, him, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern should all be like on the same level. And if that's the case, then I don't think it ruins the movie.
Right.
Then you group them together, they have a threat that's stronger than any of them individually. Superman has to go all out. He's still not quite as strong, but with the help of Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman, blah, 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 they can overcome this enemy who's stronger than all of them.
Fair enough.
As opposed to have an enemy that's too strong for literally everybody else that can't even do anything to him, and you're like, don't worry, we've got Superman. One Punch Man, you're dead. So.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So basically, I guess our closing thoughts on that is in order for DC to move forward in the future and be a better movie series, they need to copy Marvel.
Yes, correct.
Pretty much.
That is correct.
Or watch this video on YouTube and listen to Tony's ideas, and bam.
Hire him.
There you go. It's just rough. Every time I look at it, I'm looking at negatives, like with the budgets and the returns. I mean, they're fucking putting all this money into it. They're not making anything fucking back compared to what they need to be making.
Movies are choosing not to be linked to the DCEU. I don't want to see the DCEU die at all, but I mean, damn, dude. This is rough. I mean, because I feel like if they just do a recast and just try to continue and act like everything's fine and dandy, that's going to fucking destroy them. If they try to just recast the fucking two main heroes and just try to act like everything's all fine and dandy and go forward and not do a reset. If they do a reset, they're going to lose two fucking very good actors, in my opinion.
I mean, they'll be fine. I mean, they're not going to go away. It's just not going to.
Well, it's not like they're going to go away, but I could definitely see them taking like a fucking 5-year break, or something like that, and like let's just fucking reset and figure out, how to move forward before they fucking go again, type deal.
I mean, they can kind of fix some issues. All they gotta do is make a phone call to a director named James Gunn, and they'll be Gucci.
I hear he's looking for sure. I hear he's looking. So yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on all that. So let's go ahead and dive in to the Marvel trailer section. Dark Phoenix. Dark fucking Phoenix.
Can we get to Captain Marvel? I'd rather talk about that.
Who liked Dark Phoenix? I thought it was fucking great.
You watched it?
Yes.
I didn't know it was out
yet.
yet.
It was so good. Great movie.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic, bro.
The trailer was good, though.
The trailer
indeed was good.
Was so good. So
The only thing about
good.
the trailer is I'm going to get the negative out of the way before I talk about how much I loved Apocalypse and why if this movie's anything like Apocalypse, it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to get the one negative out of the way was I left the trailer going, I have no idea what the plot is. I have no idea what they're doing.
I'm assuming she's going to like start fucking shit up and they're going to have to like stop her somehow.
I don't know, just rewatch. If you've watched it and you think you came away knowing what the fuck was going on, I mean, Magneto looks like 1 second he's like, I'll help you. He's like, eat a dick, Charles. And then he's like, don't worry, guys, this is amazing. And then he's like, you're evil. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
like,
that threw me for a loop.
It's all over the place, dude. I have no idea what's going on in this movie right now. So that's the negative.
Like, it's gonna be lit. I know that.
So,
I'm just gonna trust that it's gonna be good, though. Although, okay, I got two negatives. Second negative, just real quick. What the fuck is Professor X doing, dude? This trailer makes him look like he is a complete idiot. Like he has no idea what's going on. Like they got Magneto over here giving him hella life lessons. Like, you think you always know what's going on? Well, guess what, Charles? You don't know squat. Like, that's basically the trailer.
I think exactly what he said was something like, you have something to say. So, or you always have something to say and no one's listening or no one cares.
Yeah, these speeches or something. Yeah, right? And you just see, like, they show, like, about 20 different clips of Professor X throughout the trailer. And every single time, he looks like this bald, sad man who's just, like, doesn't, like... do you remember Obama before he got elected and after? Like, he looked like a young, spry fucking guy, right? And then after, and he's like, just gray hair everywhere. Like, he's just like, what did I sign up for? That's what happened to Professor X in this trailer. Like, he was a young, spry, like, happy, let's get the mutants together type dude. And then whatever happened in this movie, he is defeated, dude. He looks like Professor X from Wolverine, except he's like 50 years younger. Like, that's what happened.
You mean
from
Logan?
I mean,
yeah.
From Logan. Yeah, he looks like Professor X from Logan. Fucking what's the guy's name?
The actor?
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
Oh,
Patrick Stewart. Yeah, he looks like Patrick Stewart, except he's not that old. But he looks like he could be, because that's how much stress
Got a lot of stress going
has
on.
taken so much of a toll on his life. He's at least 85 years old in this movie, and he's biologically only like 30. So that's my take on him.
February.
Yeah, so that threw me for a loop, that part right there, because like he said, whenever I look at you, or I'm looking at you, and I know what evil is, or some shit like that. I know what evil is, and I can see it when I look at you, some shit like that. Basically calling her evil. I was like, did Magneto just say that?
Evil.
I was like, did Magneto really just fucking say that? I was like, what happened? Like, what? So my only thoughts on that is maybe he's just like still like trying to coax her like into going all out. Like, I know what evil is, because I mean, I don't know if Magneto at this point has considered himself to be the bad guy. I don't know if that ever actually will happen.
I don't think he's ever. he plays both sides of the fence, basically. He's just hedging his bets.
Which is fucking hilarious because he definitely does that in the comics. Like
He has a schedule. Like Monday through Thursday,
say he's an X-Men.
he's evil. And Friday through Sunday, he joins the X-Men and saves the world. Like, he's like, one of these times I'll get you, you damn kids. But until then, I'm going to pretend like I like you.
I read this earlier. It's like some context shit from the trailer thing where it says that basically her going crazy is all Xavier's fault. Where he, from context clues, it says that he telepathically suppressed her when she was young of killing her parents by flipping the car, and he said I done it to keep her stable, and now she knows I was trying to protect her, and she's fucking going crazy.
And it's
I don't
ruined
know
his
shit
life.
about Phoenix. I don't know
He's
shit
It's
not
about
trying
ruined
to
his
fix
life.
his problems or anything. He's just fucking out, dude.
He's outie, dude.
He needs Hugh Jackman back like
Well, she's like
bad.
ridiculously fucking powerful. I don't know
Oh,
a lot
she's
about her,
strong
but
as shit.
some real shit,
And that's
you
the best part. We're not gonna see Phoenix. We're seeing Dark Phoenix. I'm so fucking excited about that. It was
know. That
so
comes
good.
out on Valentine's Day. Holy shit!
Does it really? Look at these motherfuckers trying to pull a fucking Deadpool, dude. Trying to pull a fucking Deadpool. But yeah, so I mean, I definitely think it's an interesting take on it for sure. I'm kind of really excited to see because I mean, do we know if Cyclops and Jean Grey have, or I guess I should say his actual name, Scott Summers and Jean Grey have actually started a relationship?
Like a romantic
Yeah.
relationship.
Because that's going to be obviously.
I don't know.
very
He seems to
interesting.
be the only one in the school that cares.
Well,
Professor
Beast.
Xavier's off with dementia,
Beast.
and he's like, "Guys, we have to save her." And everybody else is like, "Do we though?"
I thought Beast was the person who showed the most emotion because he was sitting down at the table with Xavier, remember? And then fucking Xavier says something, and Beast goes, "This was your fault," and then just like slashes that fucking glass container that was on the
that
fucking
could be
table.
anything though. That could be like he made bad tapioca. But we don't know.
Oh my gosh! I mean, dude, it
Beast
looked so good. You just hate Beast, dude. You're just
Beast
a
is
Beast
the
hater,
worst
dude.
character. He's worse than fucking. I don't even, he's the worst character in all of them, dude. Who's worse than Beast? He's so shitty. He's the worst character ever. Dude. He's worse than Cyclops, and Cyclops is terrible.
I hope somebody who can
Nobody
get
could
a movie.
possibly be a fan of Beast, dude.
I hope
Nobody.
First off,
Somebody.
if you're a fan of Beast, go to Darkstar.
You are not. You are lying to yourself.
Look at
If there is a single human being on the planet whose absolute favorite character is, they saw Batman, they saw even Deadpool,
Dude, fuck
literally
you, bro.
billions of characters they could choose from. If Beast is the one that made it to the top of your list somehow, we failed as a society, allowing this to happen to some poor child. I don't know who hurt you when you were young, but you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. He's just a giant blue fucking monkey dude that's got 4 hands. He's got hands for feet.
Iron Fist, Beast, Iron Fist.
Iron Fist is 100 times. Iron Fist is the second worst character of all time, and he's still 100 times better than Beast.
Wait, second worst character? Oh no, motherfucker! You can't call someone who can literally defeat a dragon with his bare hands the second worst character.
I
of all time.
could actually do that, and I did.
Well, you know what?
Iron Fist. I just don't like. I get it.
God.
I don't actually get it, but I kind of get it. Like, you don't want to be a basic bitch, right? Like, we can't all just be fans of Batman. That would be shitty. We can't just all choose to be Like I get it, right? You can't all be Batman or Spider-Man fan. Like, there's gotta be things, but you gotta choose somebody that's in the top 10. Like, you can't watch My Hero Academia and fucking Tape from Arm Guy is your favorite character. Like, that would be like choosing Beast as your favorite character. Like, you can't do that. There are way too many good characters. Choose any of the second tier good characters. Why Beast? You can't do it, dude. Or Iron Fist.
You think there's no way that somebody out there that's their favorite character?
I don't know. I mean, I can't
Walking
imagine.
around this house, you see Beast posters everywhere.
No, dude. They're lying to themselves. They're living a lie. They should put on more X-Men. You know how many awesome mutants there are with awesome powers? They put on X-Men and see Beast, and they actually think to themselves, yeah, this character is clearly better than all of the other characters on this show. No, they don't, dude. They're lying to themselves. They're living a lie. It's fucking horseshit.
Like
There's
I
no
said,
way.
in the description below will be the link to Darkstar. Go blow up Tony's comment sections.
And
if
you
you're a
open up
Beast fan.
Netflix and you're scrolling through, you're like, oh, Lost. Ooh, interesting. Oh, the 100. Oh. Iron Fist. Whoa!
See, Tony, this is where you need to stop because you're judging it off the crappy adaptation that Netflix has done for it. And honestly,
I wouldn't know Iron Fist. I literally wouldn't know Iron Fist.
If it
Just
wasn't for
like, oh, there's a
Netflix.
guy that Dylan likes. There's a guy Dylan likes. Okay, let's see what's up. And
I would know him from
Tony,
the guy who
your
does like
favorite Marvel
ninja
character
noises.
Your favorite Marvel character wouldn't even exist if Venom didn't shit him out.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
there's not a comparison between Iron Fist and Carnage.
He said Carnage got wrecked by Lucy in a death battle. Oh my god!
God.
I can't believe he said that, dude. I can't believe you brought that up, Dylan. Oh my fucking god, dude.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
That's crazy.
So I hope
I mean,
somebody that is watching this video can get us a video made. Please, we need a Beast solo video. We need a Beast solo movie. We need one bad, and we need to find
I'm
some way.
looking up I'm
to
looking up
force
fucking
Tony to
Ranker.
watch.
I'm going to Ranker, and I'm gonna see X-Men characters.
To watch
Favorite X-Men
Beast be
characters.
like number 2.
X-Men
Tony will
list on
legitimately
Ranker.
leave.
Somewhere there's a person that has a beef tattoo and they're watching this like, what have I done with my life?
Anybody, any single person that voted for Beast on this fucking thing is trolling, dude. They're trying to get him to the top so they can fucking troll us. I'm going down the
what
list, dude.
trolling assholes.
I'll let you know what number Beast is at.
Oh my gosh.
You guys can continue.
Okay,
He's
so
fucking number 12. Dude. He has 1,400 votes, dude. These troll motherfuckers, bro. He's literally one spot ahead of Iceman. Fuck you guys.
Oh my god. Hey, on the top10.com, he's number 25.
What? Well, hold on, Tony. Let me ask you something. What do you know of Beast?
He's
Other than
fucking
he-
blue. He's fucking hideous, and he's got hands for feet. That's all you need to know, dude.
Okay. So you don't know that Beast can lift four cars.
no, hey.
He's better. He's not fucking look retarded, and sometimes he looks like a normal person.
We know a little bit about Beast, but we got to watch him fight a Gargoyle.
Yeah, you gotta remember. Beast only lifted half of that tree. He didn't lift the entire tree. He only lifted half of the golden tree.
It
The
wasn't
other half
all the
was
way
still
off the
touching the ground, dude.
Look at this picture, dude. The fucking branch on the side is touching the ground, so it wasn't all the way on the ground, so he wasn't holding up the weight, guys.
Oh my god. By the way,
Unless you are a chick and you got like a beast fetish, like a fucking hairy blue man fetish, then okay, I'll fine. But no, besides that, if you like him because he's a bruiser, pick another bruiser. Pick any
I
other
do agree with
big
that.
bruiser
Juggernaut,
character.
bitch.
yeah, Juggernaut.
fucking
Yeah, there you go.
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut's number 30 on this list.
Beast
Fuck,
beat
even
Juggernaut.
Collab,
These guys are cheating, dude. There's no way Beast is this high, dude. There's
Tony's
no
life,
way.
he's like, fuck.
He's a genius, bro.
What?
Tony's life is
I'm
insane.
so happy that he was so high on the list right now.
I
Like,
don't
you have
even
no
top
idea.
five. Oh
I
my
don't
God.
even like Beast, but I am so happy with this right now.
Tony's face.
I'm so happy with this right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. He was the one. Tony was the one vote that Bonnie Drake needed.
Deadpool's 22 on this list, so.
Hey. At least he's on the list.
Jesus Christ.
I'll be happy with that. I'll take the win.
Fucking
I'm in the
Dazzler,
top
dude,
30.
number 35.
Oh Jesus
You
Christ.
just look up top X-Men characters.
He's better than that.
I typed in Ranker,
Yeah.
X-Men character. I forgot the S, apparently.
Anyways, Dark Phoenix trailer was great.
I don't know if I want to live in this world anymore, dude. Everything I know has been changed.
Oh man.
Okay.
I mean,
Besides that,
fuck,
Dark Phoenix
dude.
looked pretty good.
Yeah, Dark Phoenix
I
is
just
really
had-
good.
Fuck.
What? Go ahead.
I just typed in top Marvel characters
Rule
all
34.
time on Ranker, and he's fucking on when I'm on, he's number 21.
Out of Marvel characters,
Best
not even
Marvel
just
characters.
X-Men.
Best Marvel characters.
God, there's no way.
It is Marvel heroes, so it doesn't include villains. I'm assuming.
No, scroll through. You see any villain things?
I'm looking.
I would like to
No.
point out once again in the description below at
Nah,
Anthony.
this is like. Do you remember this, Joey? I don't know if either one of you two watched this show, but there was a season of American Idol where there was this terrible,
Yeah.
terrible singer on the show.
Mhm.
Literally, there was a movement online
yeah.
for people to vote for him to keep him in the show every week, just to
Aw.
piss Simon Cowell off. Simon Cowell said if he won the show, that he would quit. So they were trying to get him to quit
I don't
by
remember that.
voting for this dude to win. Basically.
I remember it.
That's what's
That's
happening with
hilarious.
Beast.
Dude was fucking garbage.
They're
a
trying
beast.
to get us all to quit on life by getting Beast higher up on the list than he should ever be. He should be behind Dazzler.
He should be behind Dazzler.
Yes.
Wasn't Dazzler like?
Dazzler's
20.
dumb, dude. Dazzler.
I don't know anything about
Dazzler's easily
Dazzler.
dumb. Oh my gosh, that is crazy though. But anyways, and then the light touch on the other ones. Captain Marvel. I know Tony's
Oh,
biggest
look like
complaint
that.
was just
Sorry.
her punching grandma in the face.
Dude, that shit was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Especially, I was
That was
rewatching it because I saw a comment, and the thing it says is, "What makes a hero?" Like that's the fucking thing that comes up. And it says, "What makes a hero?" And then it shows her punch her in the face right after that. I
That's
was like,
funny.
"No fucking way!" It's the best thing ever.
It's
But-
funny.
The reason why it was so bad is because she looks like she's gonna be terrible. She looks like. Oh, wait a second. Oh my god.
dude.
Wait a sec. We got to go back to Dark Phoenix for a second. I forgot the actual third.
All the I had.
You keep coming up with negatives. What the fuck?
Trailer, I'm telling you, the trailer was good, but basically it was trash. Here's the deal, though. The third negative. Stop! I am begging you, please, if you're listening to me. Fox still makes these, right? Fox, I
don't
am
know, dude.
fucking begging you. Please stop making Mystique a central character in this story. Fucking please. Jennifer Lawrence has the acting range of a Rotten Tomato. She's fucking terrible. And this fucking Brie Larson, is that her name?
Yes.
She's got the same thing going on. I don't know. I haven't watched her other stuff, so I'm trying to reserve judgment. I have enough of a scope from Hunger Games and the X-Men franchise that I can just go ahead and take Jennifer Lawrence and just put her in a little box over here of emotionless garbage. Brie Larson from this trailer. I mean, this is her face the whole time.
She's gotta be serious, dude.
Like
Nick Fury's like, "Hey, I can tell when people are what did he say, like something soldiers, like lost soldiers or something like that."
I thought so. Okay, so in the movie The Room that she was in,
It
she
looked
won a fucking
awful.
Academy Award for fucking Best Actress.
Maybe she's good in other stuff, but in this right now, she looks like she's trying to pull. Who's the chick from Twilight, Joy?
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart and Jennifer Lawrence from Hunger Games and Mystique.
So
Right,
I
like, where
agree with you.
It's just a monotone, like, oh,
But yeah, dude. I mean,
Gotcha.
she did win an Academy Award Best Actress and a Golden Globe for a movie in fucking The Room.
I
which is
agree
an
with
okay
you with
movie.
Kristen Stewart. She's terrible.
Don't you fucking ever.
I
Okay.
actually like Jennifer Lawrence a lot. I think she's great. I'm
Jennifer Lawrence is alright.
surprised to hear you.
we all have guilty pleasures.
I'm surprised to hear you come out of the floodgates like that on Kristen or on Jennifer Lawrence. Kristen
Jennifer
Stewart, I
Lawrence is
get.
okay.
We have talked about Jennifer Lawrence before. I don't like her. I know you do like her.
She's
I think
awesome.
she's hot.
I like Kristen Stewart. She's awesome.
Fucking Dylan. I don't think she's hard.
Facts.
Kristen Stewart.
That's about it.
The difference between Jennifer Lawrence and Kristen Stewart is you see Jennifer Lawrence in like her interviews and stuff like that, and she's all bubbly and I'm just like everybody else. Look, I eat all sorts of stuff, but I only stay 100 pounds. Oh my god, and everybody can do that, right? I just gotta have snacks. Like that's Jennifer Lawrence, right? But then she like gets in front of the camera and she's like, I don't know. What would you do? Right? But Kristen Stewart lives that life.
That is
It's
literally
not
all right.
acting. It's just Kristen Stewart. She didn't
She
play
really
Bella
did
Swan.
play that,
She just played Kristen Stewart, just like Edward, I love you. And that's just her. Like, it's not acting. That's just Kristen Stewart. So, take it or leave it.
All right. Well, I would like to also move on to the Venom trailer and hear what
Wait.
Tony's fourth
Oh.
negative is about the Dark Phoenix.
Okay. Venom looks alright.
I'm surprised to hear you say that. Honestly, I don't believe you. To be honest, I don't believe you.
We got next Friday, dude. We get to see it.
Venom,
The 5th.
Venom looks all right, except for these 20 negatives.
Okay, I have to say this. About Venom. This guy looks like he could be pretty good. The
Tom Hardy.
the
Tom
villain
Hardy.
guy. No, the villain guy.
Oh, okay. Villain.
Oh, the guy from fucking The Night of.
Yes, but the only other thing I've seen him in was one of the worst experiences of my entire life.
I mean, he won awards, dude.
Watching The Night of. So I'm not blaming him for that. He was probably pretty good in it. I don't know. I was clawing my eyes out while I was watching it, so it was hard to
He's
see if his
fine.
acting
He
was
loved
pretty
every
good while I
minute
was
of it,
watching it.
dude.
But he looks like he'll be pretty good in this. And Tom Hardy looks pretty good too. I don't know. Some of the humor is questionable.
I agree.
So far.
I agree with
The
that.
rolling
So,
down the
we'll see
street
about that.
like a turd in the wind. I mean,
That was
that
questionable.
line.
That line was terrible.
I was like, I didn't even laugh like at all.
I'm hoping it's one of those things that we see in the trailer and it doesn't actually quite make it into the movie. That'd be pretty great.
And art's something to do with something else said in the movie. Like it's something that Tom Hardy's character says or something. The Venom when he's not in the outfit. I don't know.
That's another movie. I don't know what the plot is.
Fucking-
What's the plot? Who are they fighting?
Symbiote.
Each
Just
other.
just the establishment?
Yes,
Well,
basically.
yeah. He's like the fucking reporter, and he's trying to prove that the fucking
They're doing human testing.
killing guys, killing people with the testing.
Yeah.
And he winds up getting the Venom shit on him, and he's like,
I mean, I hope he gets a fucking villain to fight. And he's not just fighting.
he
like,
told him, let's talk about
soldiers
it.
and
His
shit.
beard was weird, but it didn't work out.
Well, I mean, you know the bad
Oh,
guy
wait,
is going
we
to be,
saw it. We saw
he's
the
going to be in a
trailer,
symbiote.
Like him and
Yeah.
him are fighting over the
Yeah.
symbiote or something.
No, they're both. They're
Yeah.
both. Basically, so that's where the timeline's going to get kind of weird because he's fighting what I think somebody said was Lasher, which is one of Venom's children. So
Hash slinging slasher.
yeah, that's going to be. Or no, was it Toxin? I think they said it was Toxin. Yeah, which is
Toxin.
Carnage's child.
Yeah.
Which makes absolutely zero sense to me if Carnage isn't in the fucking movie at all. So
Doesn't exist yet. Yeah, it got
Bruh.
put out for Venom yet.
Fourth criticism, Dark Phoenix.
I'm waiting for it. Fucking A. I mean, you're just going off.
No, it's Riot. Riot,
Oh, Riot.
Scream, Phage, and Toxin. Oh, Toxin is in it. Yeah,
Oh yeah, see,
Toxin's
that
the
makes
one
no
that shows
sense.
coming out of the thing.
Should have just
But
done
he's
Lasher.
not. He's not on the body. We didn't see it on the body. It shows Phage. That's weird. Phage. Yeah, so that's
Phage
right.
the Untouchable.
The yellow one. Scream is in the chick.
Yep.
Riot is in the main bad guy, and it just shows Toxin coming out of the thing.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So maybe they've been around for a while, and Carnage is just somewhere. Maybe that might be the fucking sneak thing at the end. Like they're fucking fighting,
I
and then
want
fucking
Carnage
Venom's
so bad,
walking away, and then like fucking it just shows like fucking Carnage like on a rooftop or
A
some
Carnage
shit.
symbiote or something just popping up at the end, and you just fucking know it's happening. Oh my god.
Tony.
Help Carnage.
I'll fucking lose it. PG-13 or not, I don't give a fuck. That'd be so dope.
You would be okay with the PG-13 Carnage
It's gonna be. I mean, they're not gonna change it. If he's in the movie, I won't rated R. But if he's gonna be in the movie,
if they
it's
did
gonna
a
be-
Carnage standalone or like a fucking
Oh,
Agent Venom
standalone
versus
was not
Carnage.
rated R, but if he's a crossover in this, I don't think that if he shows up in this movie, I would assume he's gonna be in the next one, which is gonna be PG-13.
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I'm just saying, if Woody Harrelson wants to be in Carnage, which I don't think, I think it should be somebody else, that'd be crazy. I mean, he did come into film way after the movie was done to do a fucking cameo. And what else would they need?
Yeah. True. True that.
I mean, Carnage kind of blows. Just kidding.
Your mom blows.
Carnage is pretty
Got it.
cool, but if I was writing the comic, then Venom would shit on him. So that pretty
I
much
thought you were gonna
settles
bring
everything.
fucking Lucy, dude.
I did too. I straight was
Oh my
fucking
God,
waiting
here
on
we
it,
fucking
dude.
go
Here
again.
we go again.
I've already done that.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So, for closing thoughts here is that DC needs to be Marvel in order for them to be better. And
Be Marvel now.
apparently Dark Phoenix is trash, but it's going to be a great movie. According
The
to Tony.
trailer was great. It just had an immeasurable amount of flaws that were all terrible. And I'm looking forward to the movie immensely. Because I didn't say this. Apocalypse is like a top 5 Marvel movie. So.
Which is crazy because like I'm pretty sure that that's got a pretty bad rating.
It does. But I enjoyed it immensely.
I enjoyed it.
It was it was a really good movie to me. When she comes out and she's just like, "I'm Phoenix," and she's it's basically exactly like that. Was almost. Oh, we might get hit for you might want to watch out for that. You're gonna get hit for copyright on that. Possibly. It's like a dead-on reenactment of the scene. It was so sick.
It was basically like me playing the movie in the background.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if you're gonna have to be careful about that. Just be careful.
Anyways,
Hopefully it's not full screens.
yeah, that's true. That's true. We do take out some of the screen. But I would like to go ahead and thank you guys for watching this. This has been awesome to do our very first review show. I would also like to thank my lovely cast. I would like to thank Joey and Anthony for coming over from Darkstar to do this collab with us. This was awesome. It was great talks, great times. Dylan, thank you so much for showing up as well. And if you at home liked this content, please like and subscribe on the channel. Also turn on those notifications so you can get a notification every single time we post a video. If you'd like to hit us up in the comments, please do so. We are checking those all the time, and there will also be social links down there so that way you can get a more direct form of communication along with the Twitch links as well, where we like to stream. And don't forget to check out the Darkstar channel. Got plenty of stuff going on over there, reactions, all kinds of stuff. Don't listen to Tony. All kinds of stuff. Funny stuff going on over there too. But
Just do it.
exactly. But at the end of the day, we hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time. Boom.